Jeremy Hansen, thanks for joining us. You've been back for almost a week now. Has the enormity of what you went through sunk in yet?
No, there's no way it's all sunk in. I'm still, every day I find myself processing a new thing, remembering a new thing from the mission, so it's going to take some time. And we have been so busy since we got back. There's so much science collection to do. Every day we've got a full schedule. I barely feel like I've fully caught up in my family yet.
I know everyone wants to ask you about big moments from the trip, but what I'm curious about is the moment that the hatch door was opened after splashdown. You got that first breath of fresh earth air.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I don't know that we got the fresh air until we got out, but we got the connection with humanity again. I think that's what we felt. You know, it's just been the four of us. We've been talking to Earth, but we knew we were away, and now all of a sudden there were human beings and we were seeing them. That was, I don't know, we all cheered. Like we literally yeah! It was great to see them.
I mean, how does this change your perspective on humanity and being a human being?
Yeah, I've been asked that a few times. I don't think it has changed my perspective, but it has reinforced it. And I now sort of almost like I have proof of what we sort of innately know as human beings. I mean, we're on this ball in space. It's this oasis. I mean, you sit down here and you look up and it looks enormous around you, but you go out there and you look back and you're like, oh my gosh. Like I've seen it with my own two eyes. It is incredible, the human experience, the fact that we're here, we've evolved to this point, and it also reinforces for me we still have some work to do.
Was there an oh my gosh moment during the mission when you were orbiting the moon, when you were orbiting Earth?
I mean, there were so many of them. I would have gone for any one of the amazing things we saw. Like I would have gone for just the rocket ride. I would have gone for just that first feeling of floating in space, that first view out the window of the Earth up close, the next view of the Earth far away, seeing the moon, starting to see a side of the moon I'd never seen before, seeing the moon up close, seeing the solar eclipse behind the moon. I mean, they just kept coming, and it was just a lot to process. And then setting your mind on getting back home and seeing Earth just growing in the window slowly over the first couple days, and then very quickly in that last day towards splashdown. And then of course the ride to the Pacific Ocean was one for the books.
I can imagine there's so much pressure on you, not just because of the mission and all the firsts that go along with the mission, but also representing Canada.
Mm-hmm. There is a lot of pressure, and I guess the only way I know how to deal with it is sort of just let it go and just do my best and just be okay with that. I think that is a hard thing to do as a human. We're hard on ourselves. We set expectations all the time. But this long journey I've had through life has just taught me, you know what, my best has just got to be good enough. And if I'm going to do life properly, I got to enjoy right where I am right now and not worry about what's coming or what happened a few moments ago.
How do you deal with that pressure and know that you have your own life, your own family back here who have to be worried about you every single second?
Family has been a concern for me because it's easy to heap the pressure on yourself, but it's another thing to ask your family to carry that load, and it's a big load. And so, but I will say, like, I'm so proud of my family. I think, it seems like Canada's gotten to know them a little bit. I'm so proud of how they showed up, how they carried the stress of the mission, how they supported me. I just couldn't be more proud.
And you made it back for your anniversary.
I did, yeah. That was a close one. I had to admit to my wife that we were on the beach the day before launch, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a plan for our anniversary. And then I did the math, and I'm like, oh, okay. If we launch tomorrow, I'll be back in time, so we're good. And if we don't launch tomorrow, that's what I have to do at that time tomorrow.
I know there's a debrief period here where you talk about lessons and what you can learn from this. Are there lessons for Canada and about our ability as a nation to do big things?
Yeah, that's of course what this should do is shine a spotlight on what we're capable of as a country. And this is not new. We should know this. I think we know it, but I do think we keep ourselves small. And there's been a rally cry in the country that we need to do big things, we need to set big goals. This should reflect back. I mean, we've been doing this for decades. The fact that a Canadian flew around the moon in 2026 is not because it happened last year. It happened over decades. We've had visionaries, we've had people that set these goals and charted this path, and then it was a stepwise approach. And that's all we got to keep doing. But what we should do now is be like, pat ourselves on the back for this accomplishment, because it's extraordinary. The events that transpired to get us to this point, very little to do with me, but that we should be like, what's next? What are we going to do next? And now that we know and have seen this visual that we can do these extraordinary things, what are we going to do next?
You spoke about feeling insignificant alone and more significant together. Does that apply to this as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, I often have this sense of, you feel powerless as an individual. You see things, you're like, gosh, I'd love to see that be better or this be changed, but I don't know how to do it. And but the reality is that you just do the best you can, and you talk openly, and you set goals with people, and you join teams that are doing something creative. I think it's as simple as, how can I contribute my gifts to improve the overall wellness of humanity? Just little things. And a lot of that just comes down to taking care of ourselves, taking care of the loved ones around us, taking care of our communities. And as you do that, these things start to add up. I did have this sense when I was in deep space, looking back at the planet, that I was very insignificant. But the fact that I was there, that a human was there experiencing it, made me feel very powerful because of the collective unity that it took to push 4 humans there. We didn't do that, the 4 of us. It was this huge team, extraordinary team that did that.
And as a final question, you had those amazing questions when you were in space, especially from the kids and the little girl who asked you, about performing CPR, things like that. What do you want students in the next generation to take away from your experience about their ability to learn and explore and discover?
A couple things. One is pushing yourself and achieving things is just fun. We had the time of our lives on this mission. It was hard, it was challenging, it was dangerous, but it was the time of our lives. And so having joy, finding joy in your experience for these kids is important. Have fun doing what you're doing, but also make sure that you are setting objectives for yourself and sharing them with other people and working as a team to accomplish them. It's not harder than that. I guess the other thing I would like to say to youth is, take some of the pressure off yourself. I have put way too much pressure on myself as a young Canadian, and I see it in youth today. Take some of the pressure off yourself, but do find the motivation to get up and contribute to what you want to accomplish just a little bit every day. That's really all it takes.
Thank you so much for your time, and welcome back.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It was a really extraordinary trip, and I'm very grateful to Canada for the experience.